welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Stephanie and I am the event coordinator here at Boulder Bookstore, and I'm also one of the members of our staff book club. And we have recently read a lot of books that have been so good, so I thought I would share with you some of the books that we've really loved in our staff book club. So first up is Scorpica by G.R. McAllister. This is the Five Queendoms Book 1. And this is epic fantasy told in a world that's very matriarchal, like super matriarchal, like men don't really have much of a role in any of this. And as the subtitle Five Queendoms suggests, this this kingdom is made up of 5 queendoms instead of kingdoms. So these 5 areas all sort of a long time ago came to this pact of how they could live together peacefully, and each of these queendoms provide different things for them as a whole. So there's one place that doesn't, provides a lot of the food, one place provides the warriors, one place does the they're the magic users, and then there's like a place that does all the research and peacemaking, and so they all work, they do different things, but they all work together to have peace. But it's the start of a series, so obviously that peace isn't going to last very long, even though it's lasted for 500 years, and it begins with this ritual that happens every 5 years, I think, where all of the queens of these various lands get together to do a ritual. And little do they know, but this night after this ritual is basically the last night that any girls can be conceived. So 9 months after this ritual, there are, I think, 4 or 5 girls who are born, and everyone else is boys, and it's called the Drought of Girls. And the queendoms are sort of falling into disarray, trying to, obviously it takes a while before people really start to realize, like, hey, wait a minute. So the crux of the story is trying to figure out, like, what is this drought? Why is it happening? And of course, each of these queendoms are sort of trying to figure out how they're gonna get the upper hand here, how they're gonna be ahead of everyone else if they can't have girls who have the magic power, the strong, have the strength. They're the warriors, so it's very sprawling, and it goes through all the, you get into different people's heads and see these different perspectives, and you eventually kind of figure out what's going on, but it's, it ends in such a way that it's clear that peace is a thing of the past, and without giving too much away, but it's a really interesting journey to get there, and I'm really excited to read the next book in the series whenever that comes out. Next book is Jameela Green Ruins Everything by Zarka Nawaz. And this was so fun. So the premise is that Jameela Green has written her memoir about being a suburban mother who is also Muslim in the Midwest. And she really she's got this vision of her book being like a New York Times bestseller, and her first event is kind of a disaster. So she, basically makes this pact with God. It's like, you've got to help me. Like, just tell me what I need to do. Like, I will do whatever it takes. So she decides that she's gonna start this pact by going to her local mosque, where she's never been because she has some family reasons that she hasn't been in a long time. But she goes to the local mosque and meets the new imam there, whose name is Ibrahim, and he's relatively young and very idealistic. And she basically tells him, I need my book to be a bestseller, but what do I need to do to get God on my side? And he's kind of horrified by this. So, but he decides that they should start off by going to the park and trying to feed the homeless. And it just kind of becomes one hilarious thing after another that ends with them, traveling around the world and ending up in kind of accidentally in like terrorist organizations and working with secret agencies, and it's totally off the wall and very, very funny. And Jameela is just a great character to follow as she just kind of barrels her way through things and through situations and kind of always comes out not dead. This was such a blast. So much fun. We all really enjoyed talking about this one at book club. Right, and the last one I'm going to talk about, we're all a little bit obsessed with this book, How to Be Eaten by Maria Adelman. And the premise for this one is that it's sort of modern day retellings of fairy tales in a way. So there are there's a therapy group. It's set in New York City, modern times, and this newish therapy. The idea is that it's narrative therapy. That if you share your story with other people who've been through similar things, that it will help with the healing and the coping process. So there are 5 women who are part of this group. And, you know, as you read each of their stories, you can kind of feel like, okay, so that's Cinderella, and this is Gretel from Hansel and Gretel, and Little Red Riding Hood. But it's told, you know, in a modern setting, so it's not totally, there's still fantastical elements to their stories, but really a lot of it is about women telling their stories and their stories not being believed, or the media altering their stories, or deciding what their real motives were, and their stories kind of being taken away from them. So it was just so fun and interesting and well written. It's like like there's parts of it that kind of feel very tabloidy, very like trashy, like the stories that they're telling, but it's just really like we spent so long talking about the different intricacies of the different stories and like their implications and how the stories are changed depending on how you tell them. And yeah, we just had so much fun talking about this at book club, and we're all just kind of like, I'm still like, every now and, you know, like the stories that the women tell are still like kind of running through my head. So that's all for me for today. Thank you for watching. If you like what we're doing here, we'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe to our channel and like this video, and tell us what books you're reading in the comments. Thanks for joining us. Bye.